I was singing it in my head the other day at home. I'm laughing. I'm laughing that it gets stuck in my head.
Still, they need. Maybe I'm missing it, but there's got to be some sort of way to fade that out.
There's not. That's why I sent you the clip.
Does it fade itself out?
Yeah,
I made it fade
it manually so that it would fade itself out.
Oh, okay.
For next time.
I did it. Is there? Did you put a clip in here?
No, I think I shared it with us, but I just forgot to
on one of the million Discord threads. We'll never find it. Like
add it to the StreamYard, bro. Add it to the StreamYard.
Oh yeah, I can.
Because we're all in this, so we can all mess around with it. So, anyways, people are bored with this already.
Hey everybody,
read the disclaimer. You know what this is. We're not. We're just here talking shit, having fun, looking at the markets, seeing what we see. We'll talk about a few other things this morning too, not just charts, because people get bored of charts too. But we got some big things that are happening this week. 0.25%, 0.5%, 0. What are they gonna do?
Wow, 50 basis points.
You're still on the 50 basis
I'm still
points?
on 50. I'm like, I think I just have like bias now because I'm like doubling down on it. I don't know. I just still think 50.
I think we should put a side bet on it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Tempting.
Loser buys coffee for the following week.
I'm gonna think about it. I'm gonna think about that bet.
I'm
gonna think about that bet.
Okay. So he's obviously not,
I don't like the bet unless I know
truthful.
I'm gonna win. I don't know that I'm gonna win.
Life's a bet. Life's a bet. I mean, let's look at we're just gonna open up with SPY just because I have this. I've been running the same pattern. I used to have the stupid squiggly line from way back here. That it's just doing its thing, right? It's a bottoming type of pattern. We broke out of the top kind of wedge-ish pattern, if you want to call it that. I don't know. But we also, rejected right off the 50 yesterday, which we've seen has a lot of, support resistance, not really support, a lot of resistance for us, as we busted through this. But, that would be a great spot for us to break up above and turn into resistance for the next move up. Still think we're looking really good for a move into the mid 400s, 420s, 429 in that area. There's a gap sitting at 421. Gaps tend to be filled. Not always. They don't always have to, right? We were talking about this a while ago.
Yep.
If you're in a bull market, those gaps that are way down below, they don't have to get filled. Like, there's still gaps.
Not until the bear market. Not for a long time. Sometimes.
Even in a bear market, unless you're talking about, returning back to the, the lower price range, which a lot of times we're not, because markets are up only. Like, let's be honest. They are. I mean, look at historically where the markets are up only.
Yes.
Right. So you have to look at, like, in a bull market, those lower gaps don't always get filled.
For sure.
Now, do the upper gaps get filled?
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah. Have to.
Get your minds out of the gutter. We're talking about gaps. Anyways. I
think it's going to pull back to that green line with the 50 basis point. And the market's going to throw a temper tantrum when it's 50.
36 or 36.
No, the one above that. I can't see it. That one.
Oh, here we go. 390.
Yeah.
Wow. When they hit the 50, but you're not wanting to bet me coffee. Just coffee.
A week of coffee, that adds up.
A week of coffee, bro. How about this? You stop drinking coffee and I'll drink more coffee. That's easy for you. It's the same price.
There we go. Perfect.
Yeah, you can make me a cold brew at home if you want.
Okay.
Let's look at the Qs real quick. It's they're all very similar patterns. Actually Qs look quite a bit different. But it's still, again, you're looking at these larger lows or longer. It's kind of a W bottom here. I mean, I don't know. It's just consolidation. I should bring up Trueflation. I haven't looked at that since last week.
Pull up the weekly and tell me I'm crazy.
The weekly of Trueflation?
Yeah.
Why are you crazy?
Well, because it's going up. Like this is
down. Really? Yeah, 546 to 545. Like that's
no, but at the beginning of the week it was
they're lagging, dude. They've already made a choice. They're not waiting on this 1 week. You silly.
We'll see.
You're crazy. 1 month down only. 6 month down only. and we're flattening out. So here's the thing: like by them raising a quarter of or 25 basis points, however you want to say it, they're still raising.
Yeah, true.
They don't want to overdo it, right? Because they're going to continue. They're going to do the same thing that they did when they pumped money in the market. They're going to overdo it, and then they're going to have to react again to that. So
Yep.
Well,
I
have you seen
feel- Go ahead.
been a lot of like conversation talking about kind of comparing it to 2008, but not with the housing market, with the car market. Like the repossession rate on vehicles is pretty crazy right now because of how overinflated the used car market was because of COVID. No one could get in chips. Car manufacturers weren't producing. On top of people are just getting screwed on these payments now. And like the repossession rate we're going to see on cars over the next year or so is going to be not
they-
good.
They were talking
Hmm.
about that a year ago, and I haven't followed it very much. So, do you have a chart or anything like that you have? If you find
Yeah,
something, pull something
I
up. We'll bring
did
it up.
find a, yeah, let me see if I can find that. I think it was a tweet.
Bring it up. Anyway, so the Qs, that's a good one to look at because, everybody talks about housing market, but again, interest rates affect everything. Businesses, your, credit card debt, your car debt, that kind of stuff. And cars are one of those front runners of the interest rates. What are those doing to individuals, right? That most people will definitely get a loan on their car and they may not have a house, right? They're gonna have a $60,000
Mhm.
car loan, but not have a house. More people have car loans than they do home loans.
Yes.
So, yeah, if we're seeing the repo side, meaning people can't make those payments, I mean, that's what inflation or in the interest rate hikes does.
Yeah,
right. It
right.
does. It creates a hard spot for these people to.
Yeah, people are just behind on, I mean, at a rate higher than, 5.67% compared to 5.04% in 2009. We're trending up. We're here, right?
Yeah. And so what I was saying is I think we see that they don't want to continue pushing, 50 basis points, 50, 75. They want to bring it down. And I think we see throughout the year this year this is what they were talking about. And I'm going to, I hate talking good about the government, but they kept talking about their soft landing, right? Like this is their whole shtick was like, we're going to have a soft landing. Well, they might if they can, flap the wings a little bit here and not increase the rates too much, at a slower rate, maybe 25, maybe 0, maybe 25, 0, something like that throughout the year, and just watch the inflation rate just slowly tick down. Now, if we do see, like, I'll go back to Michael's weekly because it's obviously parabolic in Michael's terms, but if we still continue to see this kind of turn itself upwards, right, and not just a downward side, we're just kind of starting to flatten out a little bit. But if we start to see it turn upwards, then yeah, I think they're going to see a little more aggressive, like back to the 50. But I don't think we see 50 this time around.
We'll see. Have you heard this term, revenge spending?
Wait, hold on. You're out until you make the bet. You can't make any.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. No, revenge spending. What is that?
So I just heard of this term today. It's basically like revenge inflation spending. I think it's rationalizing like, well, I want that car or that TV and I don't have any money, but it's going to be more expensive next month. So I'm just going to buy it. And so people are like spending like more on experiences and just
Really
crap right now. And so
that just sounds like the American way, period.
Well, it's for
I'm
sure.
just going to spend money, going to spend it.
For sure.
I mean, that's credit cards. Like,
Oh.
If you have a credit card, it should be an emergency credit card, right? Okay,
Right.
I'm gonna buy something and pay it off. Not I'm gonna go get a new pair of jeans or a new cell phone.
Yeah, one of my buddies, I'm not going to drop names, but he was like, yeah, I just, got this and put it on this card because I got, 0 APR on it. I was like, if you have to put something on your credit card to buy it, you can't afford it. Like, that's just, if you can't buy it 3 times, you can't afford it.
Well, and I will say there's a place and time for credit cards for there's, in my eyes, and this is not financial advice, you do what the hell you want. You go out and buy your jeans with it. Emergencies that you are, buying something because you absolutely have it. You have flat tire, you need new tires, whatever it is, and you are not getting paid for 2 weeks, whatever happens, we have rough times. People are in rough positions.
Rainy days. Rainy days
Yeah,
happen.
rainy days, and you've got to use that. But your goal should be to be able to pay that thing off, as soon as you possibly can. Period. The other one is you use it for the miles, you use it for the points, whatever you want to do, and it's pay for it on a monthly basis, pay those off before you get charged with the interest, and you just get your points. So
that's what I do. Alaska card. That's like the only thing I do for is just do it,
Yeah.
pay it off the second the charge comes through on the app, and then
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's so
free money.
Yeah, and it's a two possible scenarios to utilize credit cards, right? Like otherwise, it can be a bad trap. I know people. Hell, when I was younger, I got into bad traps with credit cards, but luckily was able to pay those off in a time frame. I've known people in my life that have gotten into some troubling situations with credit cards and debt and stuff, and it can be dangerous. So when we talk about inflation, this affects everybody, right? And so the higher this inflation rate goes, usually your interest rates for your credit card, your car loans, all that stuff is going to go higher. It's going to affect stuff. So, and we're seeing it with the markets. People are reacting, I think, to the fact that it is going to be a 25 and not 50, but yet to be seen.
Yeah.
I want to point out Tesla. Go ahead.
I was just I'll talk when we get back more to the kind of crypto market stuff.
Yeah, I was just gonna do some legacy stuff because Tesla was a beast last week. Beast. Yeah, it was a good week. I posted on my Twitter. I bought some calls on Tesla. I don't know where it was, in the 40 some 30 some, in that range, but it's a year long calls expiring January. Just a pure bet is all it was. So I'm sitting in a good position. Now Michael's gonna have to help me out. Maybe that'll be a whole podcast. We'll talk about some strategies that are potential to do with these because I'm not an options trader. I just buy naked calls all the time, like on random things. I think it's gonna go up. I'm a degen and I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, but you're very selective. You seem to only do it when it's kind of feels like a sure thing, and you tend to do well. You're not like pulling the trigger like left and right on these calls.
I have a pretty good track record with my options. I do very few of them, and they're pretty successful. But Tesla, looked good last week. Everything last week was up. It was a good week.
Yeah. Because everybody thinks it's going to be 25. That's the reason.
It's baked in. It's baked in. But we're seeing this morning. We're seeing a little pullback, which for me points again to 25 because we had this kind of front run of everybody knowing it's going to be 25. You see a little pullback, as we go into the meeting itself, and then it will, we get the meeting, we get the 25, and then we'll kind of shoot up and do our thing. That's just kind of my guess of what I think is going to happen. We can look at crypto markets.
Well, we've seen that over the past. That's what I was going to say, right? Like we've seen over the past couple of weeks, going into Friday, really strong looking markets. We'll get a good pump over the weekend. And then we see that retraction as we come into Monday. Like the past 3 weeks have kind of followed that same type of pattern, I feel like.
It's been 3 weeks, 4 weeks for sure.
I wonder if this is, I've seen, bull trap out there floating around a lot, especially on Twitter and stuff, right? It's like, are we going to have a big leg down?
All the bears want the bull trap.
Yeah.
All the bears want the bull trap. But in reality, until we get over this line here, 24,300-ish, I think we'll see some downward, potential. I still think we're going to see 30K before any real pullback anyway. I think we see a little pullback today, maybe tomorrow, and we start to kind of come back around. When is that? Is it Thursday?
It's February 1st is when they rate. It's
I don't
Tuesday,
know what
Wednesday.
is.
So it's a Wednesday will be the rate hike.
Wednesdays.
It's Tuesday, Wednesday is the Fed meeting.
Okay. So I stand by what I was saying. So down today, maybe a little down tomorrow, and then we'll start to kind of, turn it back around once the announcement comes out. We start to move that route. I still think we're going to see some good moves up into the 30K range. You can see this is going to be massive resistance here. But I want to point out that this was massive resistance everybody was talking about back in 2019. Okay. This here, everybody and their mom was like, well, I mean, it's going to go to 6K and then it's just going to get rejected and, back down to 3K. So everybody's like, I'll just buy when it, comes back down to 3K. And you can see
It didn't happen.
it didn't do shit. It just said, see ya, I'm out, and straight up for the next, 3 weeks in that time frame, a little pullback and then right back up to the 14K. I think we can see something similar in this, even with the 30K mark, because everybody's looking at 30K, and we might get a nice little bump up to, what is that, 38, 40K, touching that range, and then kind of peel back over a little bit. 100% could be what happens. So, Ichimoku Cloud, obviously we're bullish on the daily. You can look at here the next couple days as these kind of come up as well, potentially getting back down to the 20s. I don't think we see it. I mean,
on the daily, you're all 4 indicators, right? You're all the way in.
Yeah, you're 100% in. This is the time you're looking for. It's also, I mean, the cloud is moving upwards. If you can see here where the cloud was green here, it was moving down, right? We have a nice move up. You have some nice flat tops for some support. Everything here looks nice. I mean, and when you look at the Ichimoku Cloud on the weekly, you can see, good points where you're going to get some resistance. Right now it's at 33, but give it after this week, you're going to be back down close to the 30, 31, 32 range. This is that other resistance points I pulled off. It's right at that 38K for sure. Resistance. So I think that's kind of this my play. That's kind of what I'm looking at. Kind of what I want to see. I want to see it. That's kind of what I'm looking for. ETH, 2K, 2,500 for sure. Is in the realms if we really get a rip. But I don't know. It's you can't go up and then not have some kind of pullback, right? You gotta get something that's gonna kind of bring it back a little bit. So, let's see, Magic, right? We talking about Magic a lot. I was before we got on this call, I was just adding more to my Magic pool because I didn't get all the way back in. But guess what? We're back
Get down.
Well, we're right into my range where I got out, so I'm like, okay, good, I can get back in because I only got like 50% allocated. So I've been adding to it this morning, so it's nice. Not that I want to see it go down, but I'm glad to be back in because that thing is. I just love what they're doing, man. They're a good one. We looked at Mana last week. This is at the end of the what was the end of the week? We were talking about it.
Yeah, and I think it was in the 67.
It was right
range.
here. Yeah, it was right here at this triangle. I mean, because I tried to get in here, but you guys priced me out. It's all your fault.
You're right.
Tiny little price.
It was at 67 to 70 range. It was right in here. Had a good little bump over the weekend. Nice pullback. We're sitting at that support range. All these wicks. It's going to turn into a nice support. This could be a good entry point.
Yeah.
In this area right here. And when we look at next stop, this
That
lines up.
92.
Yeah, it's 99 to $1. I mean, if we look at this, there's this range in here that it's going to have to get through, in the 80s. But then your highest resistance is going to be up here in that high 90s to $1 range. Easily possible with these tokens.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what's that for 20%, 30%? It's a nice little play. So, I didn't get fully allocated to that, so I'll probably add a little bit to that here today. Just for a short-term play. This Magic is a long-term hold for me. Like I'm liking Magic. These other tokens are kind of short-term. I want to bring up one more that's before we move in is I don't want it on Binance, so I want it on Kraken. Actually has a long history of Doge. The Doge. I just put on weekly so we can kind of see. You can see what's here. So this is, when this was all happening down here at the bottom, this was the play used to be you're trading Doge to Bitcoin, right? And when it was I can't remember 800 sats. It's been so long now, but you would, or anything below. Oh, it's hard for me to remember. I probably should pull it up and I can remember it more. But anything below a certain amount of sats, it was like you just stacked it because you would get these pumps that would rip up and you could double, triple your money pretty easily. And they would do pretty consistently once to twice a year. And that was your play. Anything below, I think maybe it was 20 sats. Anything below 20 sats, you dive in, and then as it rips up, then you sell it. Again, I can't remember fully, so don't hold me to that. And then obviously we got into the bull run, and everybody was like, "Oh, Doge is the next Bitcoin," like they always say. And it just had an epic run, and you can see, just like everything else, it's kind of coming down, but we're seeing some decent support. In this you can see where there was a lot more action on this side. It's showing support in that area.
I like those higher lows on the weekly.
Yep, that's looking great, right?
Yeah.
So as we dive in a little bit closer here on the weekly, these are meme coins, right? Like, no, it's not the next Bitcoin. Neither is SHIB, neither is whatever something Inu. They're all these. No, they're not there. These are just tradable tokens that are out there, but it's showing some interesting pattern here. This kind of ascending. It's going to be a little kind of a triangle top. It's kind of one of my favorite plays, actually, when you
see,
dive into it.
It's so hard for me to trade these types of tokens because I have to have at least some sort of fundamental to go along with the technical. Like, because I just look at them like there's nothing like, like Elon tweeting can pump it 20% or dump it 20%. I don't, it's.
Well, okay. How about this for Doge? You can pay for your season tickets with the Mavericks.
What do I need to? I guess do I enter now then?
Like, if you just want anything, like, I mean, it's something.
Yeah,
it's something. So this is kind of one of my favorite patterns. You see this rejection. It's usually I'd like to see it really flat. If it's ascending, it's not as good. But if it's really flat and you're not seeing some rip up above it, this is a super good pattern to kind of look into. So what you want to see, you're going to see this. You can do one of two things. You can start to kind of enter in this lower area, wait for it to, move up, take your profits. This is just trading. This isn't for like long-term holds or anything like that. I'm not a believer in Dogecoin. I say that, and Elon will make it so that's the only currency you can buy a Tesla with at some point. But tradable asset, it's there and can possibly make some money. So you can dollar cost average into this area right here and wait for the breakout. Your exit would be, breakdown of this trend line at the bottom. Usually you're going to get a retest and you can get out there. But either way, you're just going to look at that kind of breakdown of that. It would be when you're going to take out. Otherwise, you're looking at next possible zones of resistance. So 10 cents, it's not you're looking at what, 20%, 15%. So 20%, it's a decent trade.
It's not a bad trade. Yeah.
Not a bad trade. And then if you start to, if you play with that and you look at what it's going to happen in this area here, it'll probably reject and kind of move around in here, but you're going to start to get in the cloud itself. This is on a 3-day. We're almost into, you can see here, that same resistance I put here. You're looking at almost a perfect edge-to-edge trade that this would play out as it moves into the cloud. Now this is interesting because a lot of times you'll see the cloud do this thing, and it'll go this route, and then it'll come in this way and fake people out. Highly possible, but I don't know. Doge is one of those meme coins too that is. It's one of the last things that's going to happen in the runs, right? So you're going to get your meme coin. SHIB was one of the big ones that was pushing up in the last bull run, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, Shiba Inu!" Like,
you did well on that one on accident, right?
Pure accident. It's like it was a joke when we bought it. So, but yeah, so Doge, it's kind of fun. It's doing its thing. So, I don't know. I think the markets are just cooling off for a couple days, and then we'll continue a decent little run. So, what say you?
Yeah, I agree. We differ on what we think reading the tea leaves. I think it's going to be 50 basis points, and the market's going to, pull back and give back some of these gains. Like we're not going to retest lows or anything. We're just going to, I think end the week lower than we are now, and then shake it off and then get back to keep moving higher. I think
that's what Michael thinks is going to happen.
most likely.
0.
That's not
12K is incoming. There it goes.
No,
You're so bearish, dude.
I
Such a
know. I
bear.
know. I feel like such a
No
bear
bears
right now.
allowed.
I'm just being. I'm managing risk. That's what I'm doing.
That's good. You're good at that.
Yeah.
What about you, Blake? What are you thinking?
I mean, I said it at the beginning. I think it's going to be 25. That's just my super optimistic wishful thinking. You know, I think like we talked about, I think there is just a risk to people are really starting to battle and fight interest rates on a day-to-day level, whether it's car payments, paying for food, stuff like that. So yes, I do think while it's 50 basis points might potentially curb that more, I think people need to have more strength and more faith in the economy, which 25 would give us. But I don't know. One of the other big things too is, you know, on the subject of crypto, like all of the Tezos news with California
Oh yeah,
DMV.
Yeah, that was cool. That's something you found.
Yeah, I saw that last week with the whole Tezos. They're gonna take and put the
Yeah, I can share my screen. I have a
share your screen. They're gonna put the your title as an NFT, which I think is a great use case.
I think it's awesome.
It's a great use case for NFTs. I mean, that's what you're talking about. Digital ownership can follow you anywhere. You can secure your own stuff instead of having a paper, you know, sitting in your safe. You can have something digital. It's easier to transfer, easier to use.
Well, even for me now, like my car insurance and and I guess not my registration, but my insurance is on my phone. Like if I get pulled over or something, I show them I mean, I haven't had to, but you know, they are digitizing kind of all of this already. So it makes sense. I mean, you talk about transferring a title is kind of annoying on paper.
Well, and it's dumb. Like just
Going to the DMV sucks.
Expensive and
Man,
Yeah,
I haven't
I mean-
looked at the chart on Tezos in a long time.
You know, it had like a little bit of a because I think it was on the 26th was when this came out.
Yeah, it was last week. Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, I heard about it on Friday. So yeah, Thursday definitely could have been it. So
It's had a little bit of movement, not a ton. I mean, I think
well, had a
At
big
that-
move up before then. I mean, just like everything else, started.
Yeah.
Started in the end of December into January, and started ripping up. So I mean, all the way down it from what is that, 70 cents? So
I'm curious why they
Little
chose Tezos versus any other blockchain.
so
I was-
Tezos had
it's
go ahead.
private, right?
Tezos is not private. No.
Oh, on a private Tezos testnet.
Yeah, so they're using just like anything else, you can take ETH, you could fork it and
Yep.
make your own thing, whatever. You can make it private at that point in time. You know, you can lock it up. But the Tezos was like one of those really big hyped tokens back in the day. And I got in on the ICO, not a lot, just you know, got a little bit there and staked it. I think it's still being staked actually. I probably should check it. I have no clue what's in there. But it was one of these like, this is going to be the next big, like so many people liked it and they just kept pushing out when they were going to release anything. I've been hearing that Tezos, like the NFT side for, you know, your JPEGs and PFPs and that kind of stuff was a big deal. I've never looked into it. This is the first time I've seen anything with Tezos like that made the news. So I don't know.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I think the one thing that they like Tezos kind of initially claimed, right, was their like eco-friendliness, and they were like, you know, really energy efficient and stuff of that nature, which makes sense on why they're directly with California, right?
Okay.
Yeah, you always got a narrative going.
Yep.
But you know, the clean, sustainable blockchain, I mean, I would assume that's a big part of the narrative.
I would agree, most likely. So
But that's an interesting one to keep. I mean, I'm definitely going to be keeping my eye on that. I would hope people are getting more into while I do like seeing people buy the rumor and stuff of that nature, I do think a lot of people are getting to the point where it's okay, show me, right? Like this is kind of the year of show me across all things. Like show me the deployments. Let's see it actually in action before I think it's gonna 10x.
Yeah, I hope so. I've been playing this game a long time, and it's the same pattern over and over where people, they're gonna buy that, like, oh my god, this is happening, and this is they're saying this is gonna happen.
Right.
But when the DMV comes out and says we're actually gonna try this out, that's interesting. I'd be really it's gonna be a fun one to watch and see what they do. So, I mean, blockchain's been used for a lot of stuff. I think Wyoming has been using it to track their cattle for years. The blockchain, just in general, I think it's
it makes so much sense.
I know the government has their own private blockchain that they're building up.
They don't believe in blockchain.
No, they don't. Yeah. No, but I mean, they plan to have like literally like every component in the military on their private blockchain so that they can track and know where everything came from.
Yeah.
Like down to the source. Like it's just kind of a no-brainer, actually.
I'm just thinking from growing up with cattle, thinking about cattle on the blockchain would be that would solve so many problems. Like, cause you could like tag drop weights and stuff directly to like an ID number of a cow, and so exactly, their breeding potential and stuff. That could be, wow, that's a good idea. I never thought about that.
Yeah. Lots of cool stuff, man. Chart wise, I think Tezos is in a no trade zone for me.
Yeah, agreed.
Kind of looking at it to kind of figure itself out at this, that $1.16 down to $1 range. Potential buy areas in this. The cloud will turn green. You're going to be full bull, be ready to go, ready to rock. So it's lagging behind a lot of other indices though. ENS, this looks phenomenal. I mean, with a retest on the top of the cloud, it's going to be green here soon. Like this one looks ready to send. I mean, it's broken out of this bearish like consolidation. This whole entire, I shouldn't say bearish consolidation, but this just consolidation from this entire time frame.
Yeah, I might have to re-enter that. That's
ENS looks pretty good.
That looks pretty good. That's interesting.
There's a lot of tokens, a lot of play here.
Yeah.
Either way you look at it, like if you're a long-term holder, you should have been DCAing every time you see a big red candle, buy a little bit.
Yep.
And then now's your time, in the next couple of years, hopefully we see some turnaround.
Some serious movement. Yeah.
Be great. All right. I got some stuff to do today. So you guys got anything else you want to add for the market update today?
Not really. I mean, we can go through a chart or two, but we don't really need to.
What do you got?
I was looking at Zoom this morning. It's kind of rejected now, so I'm less excited about it. That was just a full green candle on the daily, and I was watching to see if it would break through, and then it has.
Look at that thing. Good Lord. That's what shit coin is this?
Exactly.
Zoom video.
You fucking kidding me? Like,
yeah.
Wait.
So that's
like
COVID school when everyone was using Zoom. Now no one uses Zoom anymore.
You don't like crypto? What? Oh,
yeah.
Dead.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. So I've been just kind of watching it, seeing if it comes back to life.
Ouch.
Zoom was a weird one for me. Like the fact that Zoom was able to exist at all really kind of shocked me when all this online communication stuff really took off, because you have companies like Skype and Microsoft Teams and Google Meet that have already been around, and they just failed to capture any of that market. Like, why did every college university use Zoom? I don't know. We had people that would come and crash our Zoom classes. Like,
oh yeah,
it wasn't secure. Like, it didn't make. I was like, what are we doing here, guys? Like, why is this? We're seriously using this? And I don't know.
I don't know. The weekly of this thing looks a little like, until we get some break above and looking at this being support, I'm out.
Yeah, I'm not. I was just kind of watching it. Yep.
But daily, I mean, same thing really. You got this gap to fill. That might be the play where he gets above here, fills that gap, and kind of turns it into some support.
Yeah.
But like you said, like, why did everybody else fail? And is it just the matter that everybody's catching up? I mean, hell, we use Discord.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
And it's,
We use Discord all the time. That's a free app. I mean, I pay for the upgrade, but I mean, realistically,
Discord's great.
the Discord's great.
It
It
is.
does what you need to do. Like,
Mhm.
so that one's good. Yeah, that's. an
I
interesting
don't
one.
think Discord's as user friendly though, to be honest. Like to,
What do you mean? You go in and you hit play?
I don't know. I just
You have to have a new profile, and it's all funky.
I don't know. You gotta like learn all like the different channels and how to navigate it and everything.
There's
I
a
don't-
little bit of a learning
I
curve.
I
I
don't
agree.
see like my mom like ever using it. Like, like
That's true.
like ever.
But does your mom use Zoom?
No, fair enough. But she could. I could show her how to use Zoom and be like,
If you
click
can
this.
show her
button.
how to use Zoom, you can show her how to use Discord.
Yes, you're right. She won't use either.
Zoom is probably easier though, because you can just literally click it, download it, open it up, and
Yeah.
you're there.
Exactly. You just got to
It
learn
is
a
easy,
couple buttons,
right?
and then you're
It's-
like, okay, now I can have video calls. Where, no, but I mean, I really like Discord. I didn't love it when I first started, but
What else are you looking at?
still in my team position. I still think it's going to close that 170 gap eventually, and I'm still just working that.
It's close. It's close. I was gonna do this because everybody's talking DXY. Everyone wants to know what the dollar's doing. Dollar looks like garbage, right? Like there's another shit coin. Parabolic rise up, and then the memes are hilarious. Like you can just play the memes out. Like you look at this, it's going parabolic, right? It's moving. And then I guarantee if I were to look online on Twitter, there was everybody and their mom was saying, look, the parabolic curve is broken and it's going to dive down. Now it did, but that's just the, nature of the beast. You go up that hard, you're going to come down.
Yeah.
Realistically, what does this look like? I don't know. This looks like shit, which is good for everything else. All your risk on assets, dollars going down, your stocks, your Bitcoin, your cryptos, all that stuff, is going to keep moving up. So you can see this is monthly. Wow. Oh, that's what I should pull up. Where are we at? 30th? We're almost to the end of the month anyway.
Mhm.
This Bitcoin's monthly is phenomenal. But DXY, yeah, looks like garbage. That was wrong. So let's see here. What was I going to do? Bitcoin, right? Let's look at the monthly and then we'll kind of wrap it up.
That sounds good. Close.
Yeah. I'll keep the volume up. Hold on, let me put it on. Something that actually has a somewhat of a spot volume. And monthly. Look at that monthly candle.
Oh yeah.
Look at that thing. I mean,
Recovered the past 6 months.
yeah, I mean, it's literally if we close in this area. How many? We got 31 days?
Yep.
In January?
Yep. We just got one more day tomorrow.
So tomorrow we close anywhere in this area, and it's literally the last 6 months have been negated with 1 month candle. That's huge, dude. When you're talking about coming out of a bear market, and again, that's why when you look at these, like this 2019, 18 and 19, right? These candles were very large candles. It didn't take away this entire candle, but in 2 months it did, right? It took away an entire time frame.
Yeah.
So I mean, that is definitely a bullish candle.
Yeah.
This is not bearish. So we're not going to 12K tomorrow. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
All you bears out there calling for 12K, not
Just on the record, I am not calling for 12K. Nate was making that up. I think we got a slight pullback and then we're back on.
all right. Let's see here. Anything else? What you guys got?
No, I mean, the only other thing is I think keeping an eye on Amazon's made some announcements. There's been some big news just talking about Amazon's entry into the Web3 space. They announced they're working with AVAX.
Yep.
And we've already
Is that going to be the NFT marketplace? We don't know, right?
I think they're really going to break into the gaming side. I mean, they already have Amazon.
Yep.
You can already buy certain games if you're an Amazon subscriber. They have 200 million monthly active users. The fact that.
Are they really?
Oh yeah.
On the gaming side?
Oh no, I thought you were just in their ecosystem.
Oh yeah. Well, there are a bunch of old people too, so you can't count them.
Yeah, that's true. But, I mean, I bet there's, I don't know, a quarter of them.
Yeah, there's plenty. There's a lot. That's a big hit if they can do that. If they can bring that in, that'd be pretty amazing.
Hey,
So when I think it's
oh, sorry.
part of it too of Amazon is such a big mover that if they enter the space, it's a waterfall effect.
For sure. That would be phenomenal.
Yeah,
that would be phenomenal. What were you gonna say,
I
Michael?
was saying like maybe we should take a look at Gala.
What's Gala?
Yeah, it's a coin we like to trade sometimes.
Every once in a while.
I guess
look at that monthly candle.
Yeah, I guess it's like the largest futures volume on BitTrue.
Yeah, that was interesting.
About a scam exchange. Come on, BitTrue. Yeah, that's a great candle. I mean, we talked about this is all off a bunch of their news that they put out. They've continually brought more info. I've got here's their roadmap that they brought out. So a lot of big things with Townstar coming live. They've got their Layer 1 blockchain supposed to be released Q1. Hopefully get a Block Explorer Q1. This is an interesting one. Their Voxverse land sale. See what that kind of ends up being. Their node ecosystem is is going to change. The same with their tokenomics. They got a new burn and mint. We can go into a whole podcast with that, and we probably should to touch on it. But yeah, I mean Gala, it's there. That's a bullish candle. That thing ain't going as much as XRP Detroit. We've got a little side bet going. I think I'm going to win it. This thing ain't going below a penny.
No,
it ain't going below a penny. Sorry, my man. You can be as hateful as you want, but turn the bear off, bro. Otherwise, what else? What do you want to say about Gala?
No, just that we should look at the chart, just because I figured people would want to.
Let's see what else you got here. Ichimoku. What does it look like? Take all this crap off. Oh, okay. Bullish, right? Obviously, it should be. But it came through a giant they had to do a ton of stuff to get to this bullish side. This is super thin here, which doesn't bode well for a lot of things. But as we start to get thicker in the cloud here, this looks like it might be some decent support here with this consolidation. So look, they got a lot of stuff going on. It's the year of show me. They've announcing a lot of things. Like, show me what you got. That'd be great. Obviously I'd be happy. I have a very large bag of Gala. So not just the token, but just NFTs and nodes and all that kind of stuff. So that's fine.
Did we look at NVIDIA? I don't think we looked at that one yet.
Well, we can look at all of them if you want to.
Just look at NVIDIA. I like I'm watching this.
Let's start from the A's and then we'll work to Z.
Perfect.
Okay.
All right. This will be the last one.
Well, you got inverse head and shoulders here. Yeah. So your play would be in, looking for 223 in that range, low 200s or low 220s, just to say.
Yeah.
As a hit. Are you in this one?
I'm not in it yet. I'm looking to see if it hits that 190. I think it hit like 190.60, and I might enter a small position kind of in that range.
Yeah. I mean, this is a weekly. That'd be some good support in the 190s.
Yep.
Looks like.
I just kind of like the setup.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that, like I said, inverse head and shoulders. We have this, what do they call it when you have three bullish candles in a row? Something
Stale
soldiers.
Green light?
No, it's like something soldiers, three marching soldier or some shit.
I don't know.
It's a bullish pattern. I mean, again, this plays into a lot of the stuff that's happening around all markets. Tech really took off last week. Obviously, last 3 weeks, NVIDIA has been doing well. So, big driver of stuff. It's great.
Yeah. Right, that's all I got.
That's all you got, Blake?
I think I'm good. Yeah, I mean, just keep an eye on. There's just big stuff. I mean, the Amazon stuff is going to be a big driver, I think. I mean,
we should do it. Let's do a cast.
Let's
do a cast and dive in deep on the Amazon. We'll touch on the Gala, their roadmap strategy, and then we'll kind of do a whole cast on those things and not charts. Sound good?
Yeah.
We'll do that this week.
Okay.
Cool, guys. Y'all have a good day.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.